What's up, guys? Welcome back to yet another episode of Barebones Knifing to Legendary. Or rather, Barebones Knifing Road to Legendary. Last time, I fucked up. I forgot, after the EVS tournament, to remove all the perks, operator skills, tactical and lethal equipment, etc. from my class. And even though I didn't use either the operator skills or the tactical or lethal equipment, unfortunately, the perks effects could still happen. Now, yes, nothing useful for the perks to have any effect happened, but we have to assume there was, otherwise it wouldn't be a true Barebones Road to Legendary. So, we need to review. In the game where I messed up, I lost, or no, I didn't lose. I won like 118 points. So, I need to purposefully lose at least 150 points. Why 150 and not exactly 118? Well, there's only one way you can knowingly penalize yourself. So, good news, bad news time. We'll start with the good news. The good news! It will not really lower us back to Pro 5. We're pretty solidly in Master 1 right now. So, nothing's gonna change that. Sadly, the game that got us... Oh no, wait, it wasn't even the game that got us into Master 1. Okay, that's good. But... Oh. Right. The other thing. I had to delete some footage on my phone in order to allow me to record this. So, I did that. Now, how would you know that? Well, the recording cut out in the middle of the match. So I now need to show you guys the results. Beginning here. Let's see. This was the instant we won. This was the final score emphasized, and our victory. I had earned a 7-win streak. And other stuff was mentioned, but I wasn't fast enough to catch it. I am now somehow beating all but 2.9% of players. I have no idea how I'm doing that with Justin. Oh, I can't actually say that with total honesty anymore because the perk thing. But don't worry. We will figure it out in this clip where I am in actuality. And that wasn't a good game for me. I think I only died 1 or 2 more times when you guys left. Not important. I made sure not to do any extra kill related things off camera and just shouted out calls to the team to allow them to, yeah. So, that was that. And now we go back to this. Time to lose some hard-earned points by purposefully quitting the instant the game starts. Honestly, I don't feel bad about doing that here. We can win. Okay, how do I do this again? Oh yeah, I have to accidentally do the... Wait, no. No, not that. Come on. Don't do this to me, not yet. Shit. No. No. It's usually so... Okay, there we go. I feel really bad not doing that earlier. And there we go. Oh, wow. That was 60 points. They beefed it up. Oh well, I deserve that. I do not feel good about what I did. Technically, that means I only have to quit 2 to break even, but remember, I technically messed up the run. Actually, there is no technically. I did mess up the run with one of the wins. So to make up for it, well, actually, to more than make up for it, I have to do this 2 more times. Banned for leaving rank match in process. I even have to wait. Oh, that is great. So I have to wait to purposefully lose more points. I am not happy. I am definitely not happy. And the sad thing is, it would have all been avoided had I just done what I normally did. But for some reason, I went in the mode where it's like, oh, it's fine, it's fine. All the classes are the same, and if I only use the knife, it's all good. Well, all except one that has a pistol instead of the knife, but I never use that anyway, so it's meaningless. I legit didn't even know if it was still recording or not because it was at the bottom and not the top. Had to fix that. 3 minutes left. Trying to make it a pure run again is a pain. Well, I guess I'll take care of some business to at least alleviate boredom. Jeez. I don't even know why I look at most of these. I haven't done really anything. That was the same one. There's an event. Look at the daily things. Oh, that's where it is. Okay. And then I don't think I had enough for whatever. Honestly, I don't know what's more painful. Purposefully losing more points than what I had gained because I forgot to do something so simple. In 2 different ways. Because I didn't alter, at least significantly for the run, the class that I normally used. I normally use class 3 for this run just to show off. But for whatever reason, I chose class 2, which I do occasionally modify for not this run, or any ranked matches this season, to preserve that run, at least before the violation that happened earlier today. But I do change them for situations where it's like, oh, I am doing a tournament with the EVS, and I am being invited by some random person. I would personally love to accept the invite. However, I need to, once again, almost foolishly, continue to lose points because I failed you all with a very heinous mistake, and simply losing but a mere 60 points is not enough to make it up to you. No, indeed it is not. And I can't do it after I get legendary, because then what have I really done? That's right, I haven't really gotten to legendary with Barebones Knifing. Cause yeah, I did knife only. I didn't use any of the extra stuff. But that doesn't matter. I still failed you all. Because it would no longer be Barebones Knifing to legendary. It would just be knifing to legendary, because the perks would still have some effect. So, I must, like the ultimate failure I am,
Last man standing.
You just joined a ranked match in progress. Ranked EXP will not be deducted if your team loses. I wonder if that still holds here.
Not over yet. Ready up.
Huh. That is an interesting note. So apparently, in a situation like that, you don't lose points even in this case. Fascinating. However, the time... Of course. I just don't get a break, do I? I have to wait again. It's like, wow, really? I don't lose points? What if I do this? Oh, I don't lose points. But I now have to wait more to lose points. Because I failed you all. And accidentally used a non-barebones class. However, I guess I can take some time to show you that I did indeed fix that. This was the class that I used initially that screwed that up. You had Combat Axe here. No, don't. Combat Axe was here. Smoke Grenade was here. Agile was here. Hardwired was here. Shrapnel was here. Shadow Blade was here. And really, you could have just copied and pasted those into the other classes that did have them at the time. But they weren't used, so they're not important. At least not for this. One of them was actually almost a perfect copy and paste. Anyway, so... not a huge deal. I love, though, how if I had just done the normal thing, that entire issue would have been avoided. Because this is the class I normally used, and I don't modify it. Well, I mean, I did modify one thing in it, but it was attachments for this gun. One of the guys in the EVS really wanted me to show them the difference between me when I'm going 100% and me going about 90-something%. It's a very subtle difference, but I mean, for most people, possibly even me, the M16 is one of the worst guns in the game. even if you're good with it, the 3-round burst does not kill an enemy immediately unless you have certain attachments and get a headshot with all 3 bullets. So, or was it just 1 bullet? I forget. Either way, if it takes more than 1 of the 3-round bursts to get a kill in a normal fashion, then it is kind of a crappy assault rifle. So, actually, I think there was even a meme about it. Somewhere in Reddit there's a meme about it. Anyway, all I did was change a couple of the attachments to what I would normally use if I were actually going true 100%. And even though the results of the match didn't change too much, I'm using a weapon that, 1, is very difficult to use to even be good to begin with, and 2, I mean, let's just get real here. It's like you have to get a headshot in order to, and have the right attachments to maybe get 1 kill with 1 3-round burst. But with any other assault rifle, that's not the case. Man, I don't believe it. I have to lose points in a stupid way. And the ban time makes it even more annoying. Though I guess it's not a total waste. We now all know that apparently in a situation like that, which would have been great for points, I might add. Because, I mean, worst case scenario, I lose and I gain nothing. But because I screwed up, I lost what would have essentially been a nice freebie. It's like either nothing happens or I gain everything. Instead, I don't lose anything for jumping out, other than some pride. And time. So close and yet so far. I also had to purposefully lose 2 more matches. 3 minutes. Oh, jeez. Now that I think about it, this is just 10 points below the halfway mark of reaching Master 2. But instead, I have to lose all that time just to purposefully deduct points. And then I'll barely be Master 1. Two minutes and 40 seconds. The self-torture is real. And the worst part is I'd still have to do 1 more by the end of the clip. But yeah, even after the penalty, I should still be Master 1. So last video we really did make Master 1. In all truth. This video is just essentially me penalizing myself like I promised. That's really the only way that I could reasonably go through the run. Try to pretend it didn't happen, even though it did. And I'm penalizing myself with more points than I even gained in that match, so I'd say that's more than fair. But especially since I had to freaking jump into one match that there was no penalty and they didn't take points away from me, and the wait is just going to be that lot much longer when I do it again. Come on. 1 minute. Yeah. All of this just to make it up to the freaking run? Are you kidding me? Actually, I don't even think we have enough time to compress my punishment into one freaking video thanks to that normally fortunate, but in this case unfortunate, turn of events. So, but I also don't have a large enough fan base for this to be really effective. I mean, I only gained 118. Technically doing the thing again would be an even, plus I'd be losing 2 more points. But then again, I guess my win streak would have also been affected. Yeah, no, I just have to do it 3 times. Man, this sucks. I had to purposefully end my own winning streak. Had to waste a lot of time waiting for the ban to get lifted. And I have to do it again. And quit. I will be penalized. Yes. Yes, I know. I think I lost 100 points this time. It should show in the rank match penalty. 60 deducted, 5 minutes. Rank match penalty, 0 XP deducted, 10 minutes. 100 EXP. Well, I intended to lose 20 more EXP than I actually did. But initially I said the goal was to lose 150. And then I thought, oh, it's going to be 60 each one. Okay. So yeah. Given that they took away more for me quitting 3 times, I'm just gonna have to call it there, because it was at least more than I said initially. I did lose 100 points on the 3rd one, so that's 160 points lost. Man, that hurts. Just carelessly giving them away. But I mean, I deserve that. I screwed up my own run. And I denied you people a glorious view of greatness, elegance with a blade, the pure elegance of a blade. So the penalty was absolutely necessary. I'm just cringing that it had to happen. There you go, guys. I lost more than the 150 I said that I would lose. And then I thought I would lose 180, but I guess I saved 20 points by random weirdness. I don't know. Anyway, for funniness, let's see how long I have to wait. Oh, that is great. I have to wait a whole hour. They're essentially telling me, calm down, dude, calm down, don't rage quit. Oh, that is great. You know, I know this whole video was essentially me just penalizing myself for screwing up at Pro 5 by accidentally not using a Barebones class, but this was funnier than I thought it would be, at least in my opinion. All the random punitive measures. I'm not gonna deny it. I bash Activision a lot. I bash them for the poor organization of the tournament, specifically the tournament contract, and how their phrasing really kind of screwed my team in particular over. I bash them for a lot of weird bugs during that tournament that, honestly, my team ended up getting an extra loss at the very beginning because of a random bug where it's like, okay, now we know you didn't sign up for the tournament, but you lost the match before the tournament because you were practicing for the tournament. We're just gonna count that. You're welcome. And then the thing that irked me personally the most was that they made such a massive change to the game that the tournament was really, at some point, for two very different games. But that last one, Activision did technically cover themselves in the contract with that. So I'm not going to pursue a further argument with that. But I will call it a pretty meaningless... No, not meaningless. That's the wrong word. I guess the right way for me to say it. In my opinion, Activision has lost a lot of credibility for determining the skill of players. Because you have a game set up, and everyone training to this point, whether they made it past stage 1 or not, they had an idea in their heads of the game, and unless you played a console version or PC version of a completely different Call of Duty, or read up on it significantly, you wouldn't have even had an idea of how different this would be. Now, I will admit, for my playstyle, it screwed me over horrendously. Instead of being able to optimize sniping in a few different ways for my personal playstyle, I essentially had to begin choosing between 3 different types of playstyles that I normally try to combine into one that I can no longer do effectively. So, being forced to choose between 3 of them instead of being able to use all 3, I became very useless to my team very quickly. It's lucky for me, though, that they were all good with their weapons, and we were still able to pull quite a bit. Heck, honestly, with how well we did, given all the weirdness, I have no doubt in my mind that my team would have made stage 3 had all the weirdness not happened. Do I think we could have made it farther? I read up in the contract of how that would go, and I don't think we would have made top 2 or 4 to move on beyond that. But that was never the goal to begin with. The goal was to just simply make an appearance. And, well, we wanted to make as strong of an appearance as possible. If we made it past stage 3, that would have exceeded any expectations of anybody. But I knew for a fact my team could have made stage 3, especially since we came so close with all these changes that just ruined one of their, well, initially I was, like, maybe the second best player in the squad, but after all the changes, I'd say I'm a pretty solid 4th at best, which out of 5, 6 if you want to count our alternate, that we didn't even have for the tournament, because we didn't have him by then. But I'm just ranting. I'm only gonna say that my opinion of Activision as capable of determining the credibility of how good players are at their games has greatly dwindled. And really, any future appearances by ST Gaming, at least if I can get away with it in my report to the actual leader/owner of the org, would be that it just ends up being a token appearance. I don't like the idea of a game being changed so dramatically that you're essentially playing 2 games for a tournament. Sort of like telling me, now in order to play Dark Souls 1 in this tournament, you must beat Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. And I'm just like, but those are 2 very different games with no similar mechanics. Now granted, that's an extreme case. That is definitely an extreme example. But nonetheless, even though the movements of the characters are the same, or at least close to the same, if any changes did occur, a lot of changes happened, at least with the weapons and how they hold / move around. Like, for example, during the tournament, sniping had a little less sway if you knew what you were doing. You could do very solid quick scopes if you knew what you were doing. It was a little easier to control, but still not too easy. Plus, you could have 3 or 4 particular attachments and have a gun that was pretty well rounded and could do a lot. Now, just like in every other COD, which honestly, the moment I heard we were going to get an update before the tournament, I got a little nervous, and rightfully so. Because every time COD updates themselves, they like to essentially fuck over the assassinary-styled players. So if you're a sniper, pistol user, knifer, oh, you're gonna get fucked up the ass, for sure. And I most certainly did for the tournament. Oh, yes, I did. I had to spend the first 10 rounds of the tournament, plus 5 rounds before that, trying to relearn how to snipe. It was so annoying. And if I only had to worry about my schedule, I wouldn't really care, because I could practice as much as possible and do a hardcore grind. But I don't have that luxury. I have to work a schedule around 4 other people's schedules. So, the ability for me to adapt, is just greatly limited. Because we're not talking about big changes that are easily noticeable and can be modified. We're talking about very minute things, and not just one of them, a bunch of them. I had to relearn almost everything from the ground up. And, well, I mean, my team doesn't feel cheated. And then, like I said, I think they did great. But I personally still feel cheated. Because jeez. Like, I know they could have done better. And I know I could have helped them do better had the updates not happened. Like, if they were just postponed until after the tournament, that would have been fine. Because, I mean, Activision, they always do this. But I didn't think they would actually be fucked up mentally enough to do it in one of their own tournaments. Not only that, but trying to find tournament support when in actuality it was just regular support, which no one in my squad was able to figure out until literally a day after our lagged out matches. Funny thing is, if we didn't lag out at all, we probably still would have made it despite all the bullshit. Including the loss at the very beginning. That would have been 60 points more that we would have gotten. And we were just like 43 away from having it, or 48. Really small number. And we only really lost, if we count the one at the very beginning that was just taken before we even signed up for the tournament. We would have really only lost 3 matches, and even that's on a technicality since one of those losses was a tie. But then again, the same is probably true for a lot of those other teams. At least if they had a sniper. One of the ones that just completely destroyed us, they didn't have a sniper at all, and I could read what they were doing like a book, but I couldn't do anything about it because I knew what I had. There was nothing that I personally had in my setup that could counter that. Best I could have been was diversion, and for me it was depressing. I'm not gonna deny that. But I'm still proud of my squad. They did an amazing job. And they're definitely worthy of the title EVS. Particularly the E part of the EVS. And that is elite. And I don't mean elite as in, like, the rank on this thing. I mean, like, real life freaking. But I'm ranting. You guys don't want that. Not only that, but we can't do any match for another 40 minutes. I definitely don't have enough storage for that right now. Given that I lost 160 points, and initially I only planned on losing 150, I'd say that makes up for the screwed up Barebones Knifing Road to Legendary error. And if if you guys disagree, if you think I actually need to lose still more points, then drop a dislike and comment on why you think that should be the case. If you don't have any animosity towards that, if you think I more than made up for, or at the very least made up for, the one screw up in that one match, then I hope you'll kindly leave a like, subscribe if you really liked what's going on, and well, if you do like, I would also like to thank you, because I can't tell you the rush of emotions I'm feeling right now for my own personal screw up, combined with the fact that I'm dealing out a punishment that's worse than what I gained. Well, hope you all enjoyed my own personal misery, my rants, but probably not the rants. And practically back to square one, aren't I? Let me know in the comments below if you think I should lose more points. Let me know in the comments if you actually enjoyed not just this clip, but any other clip. I do try to tailor everything to you guys. And if you have any other interesting challenge ideas, like maybe shotgun only, SMG only, or a very particular weapon, then that could be interesting. Heck, I could even be total support and just be like, flashbang only. Why do I feel like someone's just gonna comment and say, do the flashbang only? that would stink. My KD would drop like a lead weight. Oh, well, there is a way. I just need to constantly be around somebody. Until next time. And then, as I'm gonna try to make routine, if you learned anything, enjoyed my suffering, want to see more Barebones Knifing to Legendary plays, or just see more of my own stupidity, rants, or etc., even in just my suave, monotone voice, please like, and if you particularly liked it, I hope you'll subscribe. It does help. If you didn't learn anything at all, and you think I didn't do enough of a punishment to myself point-wise, and you want me to just keep going farther, leave a dislike, and comment below on why you think I should do more self-damage. Until I get any sort of response, I think we will call it for the clip. And, oh, and by the way, you may think I won't look at the comments, but I do look at them. So, if you genuinely do the dislike and comment thing because you think I should lose more points for that one game, then just tell me. Heck, honestly, we could even vote on it. I just need to figure out how to set a poll. Have a good day, all, and hope you enjoyed. Bye.